This is Ndamukong Suh from the No Free Lunch podcast. Ever feel like your workload is out of control? Like you're wearing every hat and expected to be everywhere at once? Running a business means juggling books, payments, leads, payroll, basically everything. But with Intuit QuickBooks, your workload gets unloaded. QuickBooks gives you access to Intuit's powerful AI agents and trusted human experts who work together to handle the tedious stuff so you can get back to what actually grows your business. And because everything's streamlined on one platform, your customer management, accounting, expenses, and payroll all work seamlessly in one place. So go ahead, outdo it with Intuit QuickBooks. Get 50% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Terms and conditions apply. Feature availability may vary by product. Visit QuickBooks.com for details.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
On today's Smart 7, Starmer secures new deals with China, Labour say no to WASPI Women claims and much more. It's Friday 30th of January, it's Croissant Day and happy birthday Olivia Colman.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer is wrapping up his visit to China with a stop in Shanghai before he heads to Japan for a meeting with their Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi. The visit to China appears to have gone well, with a warm welcome from Chinese leader Xi Jinping and good news on improved market access for British goods, lower tariff rates and visa-free travel to China for Brits for up to 30 days. The PM was sounding positive about the prospect for future closer relations.
Now, I made it a founding principle of my government that Britain would face outward again and re-engage with the world, because when global events affect everything, then this is how we deliver for the British people.
Donald Trump didn't seem particularly happy about the visit, warning that it's very dangerous to look to China for economic support. The US president won't be pleased either that China's UN ambassador Fu Kong has criticised his military adventurism in the Middle East.
The use of force cannot solve problems. Any military adventurism will only push the region into an abyss of unpredictability. We call on all parties to abide by the purposes and principles of the UN Charter.
WASPI Women are back in the news, and if you're struggling to remember what that stands for, it's Women Against State Pension Inequality. Campaigners says that over 3 million women who were born in the 1950s didn't get proper information about a change in the pension age, which left them working for years longer than necessary. A parliamentary ombudsman recommended that those affected should get compensation of between £1,000 and £3,000, but Work and Pensions Secretary Pat McFadden had bad news for the women on Thursday.
To specifically compensate only those women who suffered injustice would require a scheme that could reliably verify the individual circumstances of millions of women.
He did offer an apology, but the government says it's impossible to verify which women would be entitled to compensation, and to pay everyone would cost over £10 billion, which they say they can't afford. Angela Madden is the chair of the Women Against State Pension Inequality Group, and she's bitterly disappointed about how the process unfolded.
It's a disgraceful political choice made by very powerful ministers who refuse to discuss it with the House. They've come out with a decision they made a long time ago, I think.
The US government appears to have avoided another shutdown as Democrats in the Senate reached an interim agreement to pass funding bills while they negotiate new guardrails for ICE actions across the country. Donald Trump was busy on Thursday announcing that Venezuela's airspace could reopen, promising that Vladimir Putin would pause attacks on Ukraine and continuing to threaten Iran with his massive armada, which remains perched in the Gulf. There's also been alarm over an FBI raid on the election hub in Georgia, which was the centre of claims of voter fraud in 2020. It seems the president is continuing to pursue his claim that the election that his government ran was rigged against him. Democratic Senator John Ossoff is concerned that this year's midterm elections could be under threat.
He is wielding the American government as an instrument of personal revenge and personal power in a way completely unprecedented for the American presidency.
This weekend is supposed to see the next round of tripartite talks between Ukraine, the US and Russia in Abu Dhabi. But Russia has spent the week hammering Ukraine with drone and missile attacks, including one on a passenger train that killed at least 5 people. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the biggest outstanding issue remains the question of territory, but he didn't sound too optimistic about a quick resolution, describing it as very difficult. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz called out Putin for the ongoing attacks on Ukraine and its energy infrastructure on Thursday.
We are doing everything we can to help Ukraine. However, we are also seeing the ruthless bombardment of Ukraine's entire civilian infrastructure. These are daily war crimes being committed by Russia against Ukraine and its people. That is why we are also trying to do everything in our power to bring this war to an end.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, delight for Nottingham Forest and a warning if you're down to frolic. Right after this.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
Welcome back.
Thursday night saw the league stage of the Europa League wrap up with a mammoth 18 games involving 36 teams. There were 4 British teams involved: Celtic, Rangers, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa won their game against Red Bull Salzburg and finished joint top of the table, avoiding a playoff. Rangers lost 3-1 to Porto and were knocked out, while interim Celtic manager Martin O'Neill was delighted as his side beat Utrecht 4-2 to clinch a playoff spot. Despite their Premier League struggles, Nottingham Forest picked up a 4-0 win, which was enough to secure a playoff spot for Sean Dyche's team.
I think we made it clear we want to try and do well in it. Like I said, we had a couple of ones that have gone against it where we haven't played as well. We do take this competition seriously, but we have to remember the Premier League, the club worked for years and years and years to get back there. So it's finding the balance, but we want to make a winning mentality.
Season 4 of Bridgerton just dropped on Netflix and things are getting a little steamy. There's trouble for newlyweds Francesca and John Sterling, and there's also a new Cinderella-style plotline for this season's featured family member Benedict Bridgerton. Luke Thompson, who plays the wayward Benedict, stumbles into love at a masked ball when he meets Sophie, played by Australian actress Yerin Ha. Luke says the magic of Bridgerton is the way social themes are explored in a glamorous setting.
Well, it's the power of Bridgerton generally, I think, which is it refuses to sort of isolate itself in Regency world. Like, it's always thinking, well, yes, but how does it speak to today? You know, the value and it's its own choosing something or committing to someone is its own wild adventure. It's not like a sort of, and freedom has its limits.
If you're not familiar with the phrase DTF, then you're probably not on dating apps. Let's just say it stands for Down to Frolic, and it's a signal that your potential partner is happy to play. Why do you need to know that? Because a new show called DTF St. Louis is about to drop, and it's got a stellar cast and a slightly seedy premise. David Harbour, Jason Bateman and Linda Cardellini star in the show, which sees 2 suburban dads caught in a dangerous love triangle after they get dirty on a dating app. The first of the 7 episodes drops March 1st on Sky Atlantic.
No one's normal.
So good.
Just looks that way from across the street.
You want my dreams?
Give me your dreams.
What's one of your dreams?
I would like for you to go about your business and do tasks on your phone while you sit on my face.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.